at Pedro Menendez High School. I would like to see it grow throughout all of our schools as a course and elective for students, um, which brings us back to the page that just says cultural responsiveness. We need to help children have a sense of belonging in our schools, okay? So I have a few books, and some are not very popular in One World because it speaks to Dr. Shiroki Holly, because he tells it like it is, but he's a profound, him and Dr. Anthony Muhammad are really progressive and sharing information and strategies for cultural responsiveness. We provide opportunities to have PLCs or professional learning communities that talk about how we can help African American males in our schools and just being culturally and linguistically responsive in our teaching. And for those of you all who probably for many years, because I've talked about Dr. Ruby Payne for over 30 years, she has a book on understanding poverty that sheds some light and helps people to understand much of what's happening. I like the book that we selected. It is a national book study on belonging through a culture of dignity. And not only is that just for students of all cultures, but it really speaks to strategies that we can help our students feel very comfortable in their schools. And we're not just talking about African American, we're talking about children from India. We have kids here now from the Ukrainian. How many languages are spoken in our schools in St. Johns County? Does anyone have an idea? 55. 55 languages spoken in St. Johns County. So this book really talks or speaks to understanding children and trying to help them be successful in following their career paths. Now, you as members of the Black Caucus and members of our community, we have to come back and remind ourselves of how many people live in our community. So we're still sitting at about 7% African American in St. Johns County. And our schools are a reflection of that. We do have a large biracial community sitting somewhere at about 6%. Our Hispanic population has grown to about 11%. 11%. So we have changed in St. Johns County. And in the last couple of years, with all the things that have happened all over the world and in Florida, from the top down, we continue to see people wanting to migrate to St. Johns County. So our population, student population, has grown to 50,000. I'm sure when I started back in the early 90s, we were somewhere around around 20 some odd thousand. And we will have schools. We had 2 schools just open up in the last 2 years. Where Beachside High School just opened up this past year. We're on target for another K-8 to open within the next 2 years, as well as a high school and an elementary school. St. Johns County is bursting through the seams, and we have people who are not kind of we've been here for a long time. This is how St. Johns County is, but there are people coming from the Midwest, and they come with their thoughts and ideas, and the people from straight up the East Coast, and they come with their thoughts and ideas. So it's our demographics are really changing. So it's something to be aware of and cognizant as we educate our children. And there's a photo that you'll see all over the country, and it shows a little boy standing on the blocks trying to see in the baseball game. And that photo kind of reflects that from an educational standpoint. We're not trying to give everybody the same thing. We're trying to give them what they need to be successful. That involves a mindset. Everybody does not understand my dirt road that I grew up dead end, and my family who were cabbage and potato farmers. Everybody doesn't understand my upbringing from Hastings. You know, I tell the kids and when I go to schools and talk to them and say, where do you think I'm from? They say California. They say New York. I said, no, baby, I'm from a dead-end dirt road in Hastings, Florida. Okay, and we just became a part of the county in terms of, we were a township, and now we're a part of the county. So I try to continue to keep my humility because I did come from rags to riches. So I'm still looking for the richest part, okay. But I did come from rags, and now I'm wearing my britches a little bit better now. So it was mentoring that helped me in St. Johns County. When you talk about the percentage of minorities who teach in St. Johns County, that varies around 14%. But for African American teachers, it's about 2%. So a part of one of the last departments that I work with is with human resources. And over the last 25 years, I've been a recruiter for the district. So I've always gone out to Florida Memorial, Florida A&M, Bethune-Cookman University, Spelman Morehouse, Clark Atlanta, Georgia, Valdosta, Savannah State, all those schools to look for teachers. Now back in the day, if you posted one position in St. Johns County, you would get hundreds of people to apply for that one position. Now you may get 2 or 3 who are qualified. People are not going into the educational field. Okay, these kids, they can do all this stuff with technology. They can work from home. They don't have to deal with people. There are so many career opportunities that are so different from whence we came. And it's important that we try to connect with our children so that they can be successful. So I try to share a little bit of a story that I tell people all the time about student grades, maturity, and how long it takes for the light to come on for children. First, as parents and relatives and friends of children, please encourage our children to read. They need to develop their own love for reading, which means we can't just give them a book that we liked. We have to find out what they like and allow them to read from where they are. You can't give them something that's too hard. You have to start from where they are and move forward. A lot of people don't have a conception of that because they don't understand that we're teaching phonics, C-R, cr. We're still doing that in high school for students. Okay? We're still doing that for students at all grade levels. Students are coming to us with so many different backgrounds. So it's important in our communities that we really expose children with motivational opportunities to be able to be successful citizens in our community. I tell my Michael Baker story. Everyone who knows me knows that I bleed orange and green and love Florida A&M University. They took on this little country girl from Hastings. They took me because they thought I was a great basketball player because in the country I was good, you know, as a forward. But when I was facing the Giants in Tallahassee, I learned that I was better off coaching. Okay. So what I did play basketball at Florida A&M University. So I think it's very important that we engage our children in activities, give them something that they can build their confidence with. But on my Michael Baker story, Michael came to us, I worked with Upward Bound during the summers as a college student. Michael Baker came to us with a 2.0 grade point average, and he scored a 9. Did you hear me? I said a 9 on the ACT. It was hopeless. No teachers encouraged him. They were just pushing him through school. Michael participated in the Upward Bound program where we provided him tutorial support, social, emotional. We exposed him to content, and we provided him with the resources. So by his second year, Michael was tutoring other students in math. Amen. Then Michael graduated in mechanical engineering.
Yes.
Michael then went on to receive his master's and his doctorate at Georgia Tech in electrical engineering and microelectronics.
Yes, he is.
Michael then went on to receive his Juris Doctorate from Lewis and Clark.
Wow.
And what he does is he's a patent lawyer, and it's some chip or something like that that's in the cell phone that he patents and works with in order. So never give up on children is really what I'm saying. So Jamie had an opportunity to talk a little bit about my bio, and you know, once again, from rags to riches, Hastings Elementary School, integrated schools. Our high school no longer exists in St. Johns County. And then having an opportunity to go off to FAMU, Pledge Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. And not as active with our local chapter, and I will say that because I don't rest. I don't rest. It took a lot of makeup for me to hide how tired I am this morning. So I do the work. I do the work of the Lord, and I do the work for our children, and that's all children. I don't have a preference. I happen to be around a lot of children who look like me, but I don't have a preference. You go to any school where I have been, all children will know Miss Lee, okay? Because it's important to have a comment to say to every child, look how beautiful you are. You have an opportunity. We need to be encouragers. So I'd like to share a couple photos. So this program is what I call the Jacket Initiative. At St. Augustine High, where those students who might be on our district watch list, or students who are doing well, if they have a great year, we as a district and through our resources, we purchase them Letterman's jackets. So part of my problem was I saw a lot of children walking around that didn't have jackets that looked like me. Okay, so I wanted to see more diversity when it comes to that. I participate in programs where we highlight elementary school children to be able to motivate our children. Last year, we took about 75 children to see Bethune-Cookman University and Jackson State play at a basketball game. Mr. James will recognize this photo of a young lady who received a scholarship from the Dr. Martin Luther King Celebration Committee with Mr. Thomas Jackson there. Students who participated in essays for writing about social, emotional, how to deal with mental illness, and how to work with children. After the completion of a college level essay they wrote, we were able to take those students to Universal Studios through investing in kids. I'm sure many of you all will recognize the people in the Juneteenth celebration that was held last year. And it was important that we hold an essay contest with the school district, and students were able to express their thoughts about what Juneteenth meant to them. This is very interesting that these children are at a basketball game, and each one of them have their cell phones out. It's a girls' basketball game, and they play for Murray, and they recorded the entire game. So to me, that tells a story. That says that I need to hold on to this for myself, this experience, on my own phone. I don't want to share it with anyone else. I'm so thrilled to be able to watch this, and they could be tough. But they were so engaged in the whole experience. We have students that we work with with special needs, and we give them opportunities to go out and experience. So we work with all of our children, no matter who they are. We encourage our students to participate in college and career fairs. We send our children up to learn about empowering women at the University of North Florida. We attend the Bethune-Cookman University homecoming. We took about 2 charter buses to take our students to see the game. We look at our local history to find out what's happening right downtown at Flagler College, and one of those students went on to attend Flagler College after that, and we're looking and hopeful that they'll receive what we call that West Augustine scholarship that's available for a student at Flagler College, hopefully for each year, and continuing to recruit recruiters to come to our district from HBCUs, from Florida Memorial to Bethune-Cookman University to Spelman, Florida A&M University. Of course, they're very grateful to be involved in things. We work within our community. We put on a parade for one of our local elderly educators, because she has been a pioneer in working and raising children within our community. And then I failed to mention that the little girl from Hastings went on to become Miss Florida A&M University during the 100th celebration of Florida A&M University. And I say that with humility because I believe that Florida A&M University, my mentors, my school, they saved my life. It changed the trajectory of where I was going. But now my goddaughter and cousin is Miss University of South Florida.
All right.
Hailing from the roots of Hastings, Florida. So what I really like to do is take kids out to see things. And before I run down my list, because I want to make sure that you're aware of the things that we do, is on next week, Deion Sanders is coming to town.
All right.
Now Deion said y'all can't fill up a stadium. So I'm really hoping that those Wildcats come on out on next week and prove him wrong. I was raised around Wildcats, but I'm a Rattler, but I was raised around Wildcats. So last year we took students up on charter buses to Florida A&M University Spring Preview. And my goal last year was to take kids from every school in the district, every high school in the district. Normally I work with the southern schools, St. Augustine, Pedro, Murray, Gamble, Sebastian. But I wanted to reach as far as to Ponte Vedra High School. So all, with an exception of Ponte Vedra High School, were on those buses to go and learn about admissions, financial aid, and college life. Okay? I'm not trying to send everybody to Florida A&M. I'm trying to send you somewhere. But whoever can teach you and strike those skills for you to be able to pursue higher education, we want to provide our students with that opportunities. And I just knew the Rattlers could strike and strike and strike again, and that they did. So we had students from every school, with an exception of Ponte Vedra High School, but our tour guide was a Ponte Vedra High School graduate. So I had students in my photo from every school in St. Johns County at that event. And since Duval County is right up the street, we know, and Deion Sanders is coming to town, Coach Terry Sims actually has a relative that works for our district, the head coach of Bethune-Cookman University. We will be taking 275 participants next week to see Deion and Bethune-Cookman University. So we try to reach our middle schools and our high schools to participate in these events, and we pay our chaperones to go with us. And not only that, I feel safe when our deans and our youth resource officer. So we'll have toting folk going with us with our students to protect us. So I appreciate Sheriff Hardwick and our YRDs for the support that they give for us. In closing, what else do I wake up and do? Any complaints that involve Title IX or equity issues come through me for the school district. I watch those out-of-school suspension of students, serving as a district recruiter and a faith-based community member. There is a group of ministers, if your minister doesn't participate, that meet monthly with the superintendent to talk about how those churches can provide support for our students. We have what we call a district support team to come up with ideas to support our neediest children. And I want to tell you, we're an A school district, right? But if you dig deep into the, you dig real deep down in there, you will find that we are not an A school in terms of the resources that we provide for our students with disabilities and our African American students. There is a huge gap. Our superintendent, our district officials are working tirelessly to be able to do that. But when you have the parameters of people not understanding cultures, of people who do not look like the children that you are serving, of people who do not have an acceptance of a child that just can't get it, so you just, I'm put it on the board and you need to get it. Okay, we have to change those mindsets. So we meet as a district support team every week to be able to provide strategies. We have AVID, which works with level 1, level 2, 2 and 3 students to try to encourage them to build them up foundationally so that those students can go off to college. I'm a principal evaluator, so I still manage 6 schools in the run of the day. I serve as an executive committee member for the community partnership schools, which are at Southwoods, Webster. Is that it? It's the 2. Southwoods, Webster. We're not at Shane. So it's those schools. But we have opportunities where our schools, where if you just walked up and you went to their portable, you can go and meet with a doctor. So if that school is sitting in West Augustine and grandmother needs to see a doctor, she can go to that portable at that school and can schedule an appointment and meet with and receive medical services right there on the school site. I love the elementary basketball program. We fill up a gymnasium like it's a high school, Pedro San Augustine high school game just to watch some elementary school students play sports. And many of those students sometimes have issues in class, so this is something that they get to look forward to and are provided with incentives to be able to do well. I continuously work with Investing in Kids. They have been our backbone of the programs that I run. They help me pay for tickets for kids. We try to make ticket costs be as low as possible. We try not to charge them for transportation whenever we transport kids. So Investing in Kids, if you ever have an opportunity to work with them. Take Stock in Children. Students in the 8th grade, we try to identify those students with their families within a certain income level to be able to get those students involved with mentoring so that those students will receive a free education when they graduate. So one of our goals is to provide them, we can't find any children, any black kids, I'm gonna find them for you. So we find those students for students. And then we have our teaching academies that continue to grow in the school district so we can build our own, because we find that when we go out to recruit, people want to go back home to teach. So we want to build our capacity for our students. So I thank you for this opportunity to come and talk about what the district is doing. And if you ever have any questions that you may have, I'm available. I have my business cards here if you would like. And we just want to be a blessing to children as educators, and my basketball coach, Doris Blackshear, was a blessing to me and mentor. And even in her 80s, I still talk to her every week. So be that mentor for a child so that they can continue to grow with your blessings. Thank you for having me, and God blessings to you and what you're doing in our community.